All right, welcome to the Dirty 11s. This video is about how NSXs rule everything. All right, but before I get into why exactly NSXs rule everything, let me tell you a little bit about the channel. All right, first, there are 3 F's that are important to this channel. Number 1, faith first. Without God, none of this would have been possible. So, find your purpose, tithe like you're supposed to, and God can make your wildest dreams come true. 2, friends. I have a diverse set of friends that I am so thankful for. They all come from different backgrounds, they drive different cars, and they have different perspectives on everything. And this is what's really important. It helps me grow as a person and as a car enthusiast. So friends are really important. And trust me, I want you guys to come on and we're gonna judge you on the content of your character and the type of car you drive and why you drive it. Yeah, so friends, we love friends and we want to make more of them. Number 3, fast cars. Look, we're going to review everything, specifically and particularly modified cars. We love them. If you have a stock car, we want to look at that too. But the important thing is that we're going to come at it from different points of view and we're going to mix it up. We may not agree. We probably won't agree. At the end of the day, we're gonna have a lot of fun, and you all are gonna be super entertained by the whole thing. So, before I go any further, I wanna introduce some of my friends, and these are gonna be some of the people that are gonna contribute as well. Jordan.
All right, what is it about this BMW that is so grand?
Design-wise, it's got very clean lines. It's not flamboyant. It's not trying to garner a whole lot of attention, but it's got small elements to it that lets you know that it's different from the regular BMW 3 Series cars. The power dome, the flare fender wells. You got, the gills on the side, the carbon fiber roof, and of course there's the V8 engine and the sound that makes.
What do you like about the driving experience?
In terms of the driving experience, there's certain ways that certain cars feel when you're driving them. The fat steering wheel in my hands, a very nice, large, thick steering wheel. A lot of other cars, have smaller steering wheels that I don't necessarily, like the feel and touch of them. The leather in it is very nice. The red leather package that I got, it's a beautiful leather package. As far as the feel of the car, this very tactile feel to the car. I feel as if I understand and know exactly what the car is doing at all times. Before I had the E92, I actually had an E46 M3, and while I love that car, one of the things that I actually really didn't like about the car was the sound of the engine and the sound of the exhaust note. And one of the aspects that I really love about this car is the naturally aspirated V8.
Then Ray.
Why'd you do this to your car in terms of the Coyote motor?
Well, I had an old one that had a turbocharger, so I needed a new power plant, and I went with a Coyote. Nobody was doing it on this type of body, at least not in the East Coast. When I mean Coyote, I'm talking about the 5.0 engine there.
Also Nick.
Right on.
What made you do this, man? And repeat my question.
I have been into things with motors for a long time. I've had Pro Street trikes, I've had all sorts of things. I decided I wanted a rat rod. So I looked, started pricing parts, and found this abandoned project up in New York, brought it down sight unseen, and it didn't even make it off the trailer the way it was. Spent the next 6 or 8 months going through every nut and bolt, putting it back together, and made it what you see it is today. You know, these are the type of projects that are never actually done. When something breaks or something doesn't work the way I want it to work, I redo it. Even after I've put it together the last couple of years, I've gone through, I've redone systems, I've redone the brake system, I've redone the suspension. Back suspension is next. I have about a 1/4 inch of travel. So no airbags, because it's already low enough. But we'll get something where I don't break a spine every time I hit a bump. It's a 350, bored 30 over with a cam. On paper, it should be about 325, 350 to the crank. The car only weighs 1,600 pounds. So it's definitely a burnout monster. With the radial bias ply tires on it, it'll do a burnout for days.
All right, so you met some of my friends, so let me tell you why the NSX rules everything. Number one, look at her. I mean, really, look at her. Comtech wide body kit, 18s and 19s, iForge rims. She is an absolute beauty. I mean, really, when I'm driving down the road, there is nothing like all the looks and thumbs and high fives that I get. And this is a 1992 car. I mean, it is absolutely amazing, and the response that I get from it is just as amazing as well. So the looks, number one. Number two, the driving position. I can't stress this enough. When I first wanted to get the NSX, right, there were 3 cars that I was looking at the time. I think I was looking at a BMW 850i, which is a beautiful car. I was also looking at like a convertible CLK, like a 55 or a 430, and I was also looking at the NSX. Long story short, I drove all of the cars, and I happened to drive the NSX last. And once I drove the NSX, I was absolutely sold. Because, you know, I'm 6'2", when I'm sitting in the car in the driving position, it feels like the front wheels are right there at my feet. Like the front nose is at my feet. The way the dash drops in front, and I can feel everything on the road, to include when I'm driving over the paint in the center. Like, the feedback is absolutely amazing. Even at its limits, it communicates with me in a way that very few cars do. Without necessarily being scary or rough or anything like that. So the driving position of the car, like nothing else. And blind spots, like the way the dash falls forward, and I really don't have a whole lot of blind spots, lots of air. There's nothing about it that feels claustrophobic. And this is one of the reasons why I love the driving position. It is absolutely superior. And I've been, you know, test driving cars and getting in cars, 2000s cars, mid-2000s, and just none of them give me that same confidence when inside the car in terms of the driving position. Number 3, my upgrades. I covered a little bit of them, and I'm not going to be able to cover everything in this particular video, but I just want to cover some of the highlights that have enhanced the handling characteristics, right? So, snap oversteer. These fats help me out with that, as well as the rear diffuser in the back. It's a die-flow diffuser. It helps suck the back end down and on the ground. If I have it my way, I'll also get something done in terms of a front diffuser to help push that down a little bit. I feel like coming over certain bumps and hills that the front end gets a little light on me. But with that having been said, just going straight lines and everything else, I feel like it just handles so superbly. I went through the engine from basically the heads all the way up, replaced every seal in the engine. Montage. Okay, so I replaced every seal in the engine to make sure that she was tip-top shape. Just so happens, I don't know. I'm gonna give you an idea of how reliable this car is. When I went through the engine and I had the blocks machined, the heads machined down, the machinist called me and said, "Hey Gene, do you know you've got a lug stud in your head?" And I was like, "A what?" He's like, "A lug stud." There was actually, from the lugs that go on a car, the person I had bought the car from, apparently the mechanic must have been mad or something, and he put a lug stud inside the head of this engine. This engine ran for 30,000 miles with a lug stud in the head of the engine. I know it sounds impossible, but it did, and it never stopped running. I went through, cleaned everything up, got all the metal shavings out of everything in the car, and it has been running strong ever since. So yes, these are reliable at a completely different level that many BMWs don't know anything about. So if you try to kill this car, it still won't die. Gotta love the NSX. It rules everything. Moving on, I have a lightweight flywheel to help my revs get up. You have to change gears almost like you hate it. Like 7,000, 7,500 RPM, like that's where you're changing gears. And when you're driving and you're going through the curves, you're doing so much. It's like just a great experience. Like you're shifting, you're rev matching, you're coming around, you're not upsetting the balance. You wanna hold the curve, downshift, come through. It is an absolutely exhilarating experience, and it challenges you every time you're in the car. This is another reason why this car is absolutely the best thing on the road. So that's why the NSX rules everything. Thanks for taking this journey with me. Hey, until next time we meet, I want you all to be safe. I want you all to find faith. I want you all to find some friends that don't think, look, and act like you. I want you to find a parking lot or an empty road and throw down some dirty 11s.